Well, here we go. I haven't actually tested the audio, so hopefully the audio is working. I should also make sure my camera is ready to go. As you can see, we're outside. Insects are already landing on me. We'll start in about 30 seconds there. Let me just make sure everything's working. I love it when a plan comes together. It's very nice. So we'll start in about 17 seconds. Let me just check a few other things here before we get rolling. And we'll have ourselves an outdoor English lesson. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, hello and welcome to this outdoor English lesson. I hope you're ready to sit for about an hour, and I will answer as many of your questions as I possibly can. As you can see, we are outside. It's very bright out here. It's also very windy. You can't see that right now, maybe. You need leaves on the trees in order to see the wind blowing. But it's definitely a nice day out here. Got a couple of dogs wandering around, coming to see what I'm doing. They're kind of curious as to why I'm on this side of the house, I think. And now off they go to do a little bit of whatever dogs do. I think they're inspecting everything over there. Anyways, welcome to this lesson. Here's how this will work. There is a form. If you look in the chat, you will see a link from somebody called Nightbot. That is the person, it's actually a bot, that gives you the link so that you can ask a question. There's also a link in the description below if you want that. I do want to say hi to a few people. I want to say hi to, well, it's very bright out here. Olga, G.A., Lucas, know that, Loli Vigil, Magdalena, Medina, Fatima, Vi, Riza, know that is here. Know that says, okay, you're a bit red, Bob, but not too bad. Yeah, so I'm out here. You can't see where I am, but I'm out here beside my house. Normally I'm in a different location, but I'm here because it's quite windy. And if I sit here, I'm out of the wind. I also do have the river cam set up, so you do get a nice view of the river. I mean, you can see the river behind me right here, but I thought it's always nice to have a beautiful view, maybe without me in the corner as well. So you can see the sunlight glistening off the surface of the river. And so you can kind of enjoy the outdoors a little bit as I teach you English. I'll put myself back up in the corner there. And maybe we'll go back to the screen. It looks like everything is working properly. I'm sure the questions are flooding in. And I will... Yeah, everything's working. Again, I love it when a plan comes together. When you plan to be outside and when it's working. There's actually a spider web on here. Interesting. I didn't leave my microphone out overnight or anything. Okay, questions. Here we go. Let me get the first question on the screen from Know That. Hey, Know That. Hey, Bob, can I use to come to mind and to come to one's mind interchangeably? Or does it have a different meaning? Thanks, Bob. No, you could use them the same way. You could say, sometimes it comes to mind that doing English lessons in the sun requires suntan lotion. I did put suntan lotion. I could also say, it comes to one's mind that when doing a live stream outside, you should put on suntan lotion. So this, I don't normally wear suntan lotion in April, but Jen and I were talking this morning and I said, if I'm going to sit outside for an hour, I better put some on. I don't want my ear or my neck to get burnt. So thanks for that question. Know that. Next question is from Denny. How would you describe yourself? A teacher, YouTuber, farmer, just a nice person, and how to manage everything and be so cheerful. So I usually say to people that I am a part-time teacher and part-time YouTuber. I don't do either full-time. When it comes to farming, I always say Jen is a farmer and I help Jen as much as possible. So I'm more like a hired hand. A hired hand is someone who works for a farmer. We do have larger fields, but again, my neighbor plants those fields for me and I pay him. So I would just say I'm a part-time teacher, part-time YouTuber, and that I help Jen a lot on the farm, especially in the summers. So that's how I would describe it. And then how do I stay so cheerful? Again, I think I've mentioned this before. if I walk every day and if I sleep well, I am a cheerful person. If right now I'm not doing either of those things well, so I might seem quite chipper this morning and cheerful, but actually I was a little bit grouchy this morning. I wish I had slept better. That would have been nice. Next question is from Y, and simply a statement: nothing. I believe that's a request to see a view of the river while I have a little sip of my tea. I did bring tea today, and I did a few other things in order to stay warm while I'm out here. By the way, it's about 6 degrees Celsius right now. It's going up to 11 degrees. So although it looks like I'm dressed lightly, you'll notice I have an extra shirt on underneath. I'm also wearing my winter boots. Keeping your feet warm is one of the best ways to stay warm. And I do have my winter hat, my gloves, and my winter coat here if I need them. But I think the dark sweater that I'm wearing will absorb lots of sunlight, and I think I'll be fine. So here we go from Judith. Hi, Bob. Which actors' movies do you like better? Jason Statham, Liam Neeson, or Tom Cruise? Have a nice weekend. Get a tan. Yeah, get a tan. I like all of them. I probably like Liam Neeson the best. I think he's the best actor, but I do like some classic Tom Cruise movies. I do like the Mission Impossible movies. I do like, there's a movie where Tom Cruise plays a hitman and Jamie Foxx is in it. That's a really good movie as well. I do enjoy that one. But yes, thank you, Judith. I hope you have a nice weekend too, for sure. Next question from Hung. Let me do a little audio check here for a sec. Always good. Oh yeah, things are working well. From Hung. I've seen slang English terms for zero, including zilch, zip, and nil. What are the different types of zero in English? How do you use them in context? Thank you. So yes, we do say zilch, we do say zip, we do say nil, we do say zero to mean nothing, right? Maybe that's what the last question was about. Weird how the why nothing ties into what Hung is asking. So you could say it was 10 zilch or 10 zip. That could be the score of a game. Or I went to the store to buy some milk and I didn't get zip. That means you didn't get any. So yes, I just say nothing or zero though. I rarely use those alternatives, but definitely. From Tina. I'm keeping up with the questions. There's only 7 in the queue right now, so I think I'm doing a pretty good job. Let me just do a little bit of housekeeping here. There we go. Good view of the river. Yes. Okay, from Tina. Hello, Bob. Can I say a son of Kate instead of Kate's son? Yes. So I could say, you know, Joe, he's a cousin of Fred. Or I could say, hey, you know, Joe, he's Fred's cousin. So both they're equal, they're interchangeable, and both commonly used. Like, hey, do you know Dave? He's a son of Frank. Or, hey, do you know Dave? He's Frank's son. Sorry, I was having trouble keeping those straight in my head. But yes, definitely you can use both, and they are identical. Let's see here. Next question. Well, this is a tricky one. Peter says, hi, Mr. Bob. How are you? My question is, can you explain to me how I use wishes in the future and present and past? You have a wonderful day. So I think you're talking about the verb to wish, right? So when you wish for something, it means you want it to happen. So today, I wish for good weather. So in the present tense, right now, I am wishing for good weather. I went from present to present continuous there, but they mean the same, okay? My desire, my hope is that the weather is nice. Yesterday, I wished for good weather. Next week, I will wish for good weather. So there you go. Hey, little view of Mr. Oh, is he hiding behind me now? I think he's right. I think there's a dog behind me. Hey, Walter, are you going to say hi to the people? Yeah. You know, one time I asked Oscar to say hi during a live stream, and he jumped up on the table. Oh, you want to talk too? Oh, he wants to talk. Did you hear the nice growl? Okay, you go play, because I'm doing a live stream, hey. Yeah, I don't have any treats for you. Okay, go. Yeah, don't drink my tea. Okay, thanks for visiting. So I think he wants a treat right now. So hopefully he doesn't bother me for too long. I think he's having an entertaining day. Hey, let me get back to questions on the screen. And let me make sure I'm on track here. From Zaki, is it true that if I was not native speaker of English and if I traveled to the US, could I learn English and speak fluent within 6 months? So normally I say no. When someone says, can I learn English in 30 days? Can I learn English in 3 months? Can I learn English in 6 months? Normally I say no. But there probably is a scenario where if you know a little bit of English, so you're not a beginner, and you live in the United States or Canada or Britain for 6 months and you intensely study the language, like let's say you come to the US and you study English at a school for 10 hours a day for 6 months, you will get really far. Like I wouldn't just declare that you would be fluent, but you would know the language really well. That would be a really good way to learn a language. And Mode says, whoa, Walter has grown quite a bit. Yeah, he's taller than Oscar now. So Walter's quite a big boy. Even his face is changing a little bit. Like he has a bigger, thicker face, I would say. He's highly entertained by my cables. So hopefully he doesn't start chewing on them. Hey, Walter. Hey, don't chew on the cables, okay? I might have to text Jen. Hey, oh, there, he's found something else to do. That's always my biggest fear. Dogs like to chew on things, Walter especially. From Vanessa, hello Bob, I hope you're good. I would like to know what is the best way to improve my pronunciation and get rid of the nerves when I have to speak. So they are two different things. So reducing your accent, you can probably find a tutor that will help you do that. Someone that will help you reduce. You will never completely remove an accent, but you can practice to reduce it. Learn to say some of the English sounds better, like TH, like the. You can learn to pronounce that better. The nerves are another thing to work on. I mean, you can work on both together, but in order to be less nervous, I always just believe you need to do something more. In fact, one of the best things is to just get a conversation going each week with an English tutor. And then by week 6 or 7, you should be a little more relaxed, I would think. Vlad says, how can I find a native English speaker if there are none in my country? The best thing to do is to use a website like Preply. There is a link below. There are other websites on the internet where you can find someone to talk to on Zoom. I have taken a long break from speaking French with my English speaking partner, my French speaking partner, but we are planning to resume in a week and a half. There's something really nice, for me at least, about regular conversation. So I would find someone on a website or app like that, and you will have to pay them, but I guarantee you it will be super, super helpful. Hey, if you're one of the 329 people watching, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You'll get notified when I do new lessons and when I do live streams. And by the way, there is a live stream coming up this Monday. There's going to be an eclipse. I'm going to live stream during the eclipse. It might be cloudy. We don't know yet. It says a mix of sun and cloud. So we'll have to see. Hopefully it is a nice day and you can see the eclipse. I will have one of my cameras with a special lens pointed at it. It won't be an amazing picture of the sun, but it will be something to look at. Next question from Alyssa. Hello, Bob. Would you please clarify what it means snow swath to us? I have not heard that word before, so I can't explain it to you. There are a lot of words associated with snow in terms of being snowed in, or it's just a huge snowstorm, but I haven't heard that word before. So perhaps it's used in a different English-speaking country, but I myself do not know it. Okay, from Viet Handsome. Bob is a role model, thank you, on how to become a polyglot at many fields, teaching, agriculture, photography, etc. How do you become an expert in many fields? Can you advise me? Thanks. So a little known secret about me is that I'm actually an introvert. If you don't know the difference, an extrovert loves spending time with people, loves having conversation. An introvert enjoys reading and learning and doing things on their own. Sorry, I'm distracted by Walter. I'm an introvert, so I love people. I like interacting with people, but more so I enjoy learning and doing things by myself. I also love technology. So everything I do is kind of informed by the fact that I've learned how to use a computer well. So, can you advise you? You have to like to read and learn things on your own. Probably one of the things I do the most is sit at my computer and read about stuff. If someone mentions their country during a live stream, I go read about that country later, because I enjoy teaching myself new things. From Israel, greetings from Mexico. Why do you say do before some verbs like as I do like? So I use this to emphasize what I'm saying. So if I say, I've given this example before. If someone said, do you like pizza? I could say, I do like pizza. Or I could say, I like pizza. When I say I do like pizza, I'm emphasizing that I really, really like pizza. And I'm responding in a way that they know it's the affirmative. Like I'm saying yes in a very strong way. Like I do like to drive my car long distances. I don't actually. I'm actually trying to figure out right now when I go to visit Brent from American English with Brent, whether I should fly there in July or whether I should drive there. So I do like to fly. So there you see how I'm emphasizing it. And I don't really like to drive. So we'll see. Flying's more fun. Let's see. Next question. There's a few things going on in the chat too. Jose is saying, I've learned so much watching your videos, but I'm still afraid to make mistakes talking. So what would you recommend to me to start talking? If you aren't making mistakes, you aren't learning. In every field, like Jen makes mistakes growing flowers. I make mistakes even when I'm teaching students something I know a lot about. People make mistakes. So the sooner you can just become more comfortable, the sooner, the sooner you'll just get past that little bit. Mode says, I like how Mr. Bob is acting unbothered by Walter when in fact he's quite worried about the chewing on something or knocking the camera over. I think it's the knocking the camera over too, but he's walking away now. He did come back to say hi briefly. From Manus, hi Bob, how do you understand faster English and how to communicate with international clients? Hope you are doing well. Have a great day. So 2 things. Understanding fast English. We live in a world where you can change the speed of a video or change the speed of a podcast you are listening to. And you should challenge yourself by speeding up things that you are listening to or watching. That's one way to understand faster English. It's not a perfect way to do it, but it's very, very helpful. So if you watch one of my videos, you should watch it again the next day at a faster speed. Or maybe you watch it at a slow speed, you read the transcript, and then you watch it at a faster speed. All of that will help you. And then communicating with international clients, I would hire a tutor who specializes in, I'm not sure if you guys can see the geese going by, who specializes in helping business clients speak English better for business, because it sounds like you're talking about English where you need to talk for a business exchange or something like that. So that's what I would do. Let's see here. Next question from Tanya. Hi, Tanya. Hey, Bob, when do I say I like this more, and in which situation I like this better? Thanks in advance. Greetings from Germany. I like this more, I like this better. So in some situations, it is the same thing. Like if I try 2 different types of coffee. By the way, I went on a field trip to a coffee roastery where they roast coffee and we sampled coffee. I could say, oh, I like this one more. So I'm comparing, right? I have 2 coffees and it's like, I like this one more. In that situation, I could also say, oh, I like this one better. And it would mean the same thing. I think in general, normal English speech, that would be pretty normal to use them interchangeably for sure. Redfish says, GM, what type of farm is yours? So we live on what's called a flower farm. You might call it a mixed crop farm because we grow soybeans and wheat and corn and hay. Most people would call this a small farm, even though we have quite a few acres, because in Canada, most normal size farms are 1,000 or 2,000 acres, and ours is less than 100 acres. So for me, it's still quite big, but for other farmers in Canada, they would consider this farm to be a little bit small. Hey, we're going to go to River Cam. I'm going to check one thing. You guys can have a nice view of the river while I make sure everything is working and have a sip of tea. Well, you can't see me. I'm just relaxing and having a cup of tea, just leaning back. Oh, click the button. Tea on a cold day is good. By the way, I'm not cold. I'm actually feeling a little warm. I may have overdressed for the occasion. I will not be putting on my winter coat or my gloves, but I do have them here. I can use them maybe to wipe off the screen on my computer. In the chat, we see Hilton saying, "Hey, Mr. Bob, don't bother yourself with the presence of your dog. He is so beautiful and cute. I love dogs. I have one 8-year-old male beagle. His name is Toby." Very cool. And then Eduardo is saying, "Hi, Bob. Greetings from Cuba. I would like to know the best way to stop translating." Yeah, it really just comes down to making sure you're spending time having conversations. Very helpful to have an English-speaking partner. I'm not sure about this next question. Let me reread it. Okay. I wasn't sure what meaning of the word probe we were looking at here. From the Vietnamese writer. If you were working on a secret project that plans to send a greeting message to aliens by probe, you can send images, records. What things would you most want to send them? Thanks. Somehow I would want to let them know that we aren't as bad as it looks. I mean, if you look at how human beings sometimes treat each other, it's not very good. I don't want to give specific examples. I would hope that we could send them some type of message where they know that the vast majority of humans are very good people, and not a message that we are constantly fighting and doing things like that. By the way, aliens and probes, there's other things that aliens sometimes do with probes. That's why I was worried about putting that up there. William, what do you think about using ChatGPT to study English, and do you sometimes use it? So this is a question that's been coming up a bit. I haven't made a video on using ChatGPT to learn a language. I like the fact that it can allow you to have a simulated conversation. But what I've also noticed from most of you is a lot of you enjoy talking or interacting with a real person. So I'm not sure where English learning will go. Certainly AI and ChatGPT will enhance your learning, but I think human interaction is still going to be very, very important. And the reason I say that is this. Sometimes when I'm teaching a lesson, things just happen around me and become part of the lesson. And if I was using AI to create a lesson, it would be very scripted, okay? So I do like the fact that if I'm walking around in town teaching English, I can just show you a truck driving by because it just happens to drive by. Whereas with AI, I'm not sure those real life things would actually happen or get included. So I don't know, we'll see in the future. Who knows? Maybe AI will become so cool and good we won't have to worry about it. From Alina, morning, Bob. I love the background. I can have a peace of mind just watching it. I can imagine how happy you are to live on the farm. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, no problem. Let's have a look again. This is the view I grew up with too. Like as a kid, this is what I saw. For those of you that don't know, I lived here till the age of 18 when I went to university. And then I came back many years later. Jen and I bought the farm from my mom. So I lived here. I've lived here more than any other place in my life, and I have enjoyed it immensely. And it is fun to be able to share it with you. From Freddie, hey Bob, no questions so far. I'm just watching and listening to improve my English. Glad you're having a sunny day. I wish you'll have the same on Monday for the eclipse. Yeah, I hope so too. It will be a bit of a bummer. I don't know if you know that phrase in English. When something's a bummer, it means it's disappointing. It'll be a bit of a bummer if it's cloudy on Monday. So hopefully it is nice weather. I really, really hope so. From the chat, Hilton says, Mr. Bob, do you use fish in this river behind you sometimes? If yes, what kind of fish are possible to fish over there? So there are catfish. I have not fished a lot in this river. I went with my kids once or twice. My older brother used to fish when I was a kid. There are catfish. There are smallmouth bass. There are something called pike. You'll have to look up a picture of that. Although that's usually more where the streams connect to it. Let's see here. From Yahia. Can you organize your time between different missions and including family responsibilities? So I'm assuming this is a question about how do you organize your time? So I usually respond by saying this. Please remember that I work part-time. So right now I go to work and I work from about 7:30 till about 1:30. That's my work day at school, or that's how much time I spend on school. I'm not always there from 7:30 to 1:30. And then I spend the rest of my day working on YouTube. And also remember the second secret, not really a secret, is teachers don't work in the summer. Flowers grow in the summer. So one of the things that allows me to help Jen on the flower farm is I am not going to work for the entire month of July and August. So it seems like I'm this super organized person, and I am pretty organized, but I'm not going to brag about it. But also the way my life and work is structured really, really helps me juggle everything. Hey, we have 400 people watching. That's pretty cool. Hi, everybody. I think a lot of people are here for the view, probably. Yes, and just a reminder, if you do have questions, please use the form to ask it. I'll get to it a little quicker. In the chat, I'll miss it or I won't end up reading it at all. Rice Farmer, if you're bored, tired from doing important tasks, what activity would you like to do to get rid of the tiredness and still be a productive procrastinator? Thanks. So what would I like to do if I'm bored and tired? Yeah, so as many of you know, I love watching British TV, or I love watching good TV shows. My favorite show right now is Shogun. Very, very cool show about early in the history of Japan. Very fun to watch. I do like reading. I'm not currently reading a book right now, but I do like to read. And I do like to go on day trips with Jen. So a day trip is when you go on vacation for a day. You leave in the morning and you come back at night. In the summer, we like to hike. We like to go to Toronto. Sometimes we go to see a baseball game or a basketball game. We've done that a little bit this year. So all of those things are fun. Lolly says, bonjour. Je peux voir Walter, mais où est Oscar? I can see Walter, but where's Oscar? So as normal, Oscar is attached to Jen and Walter is attached to everybody. So dogs have different personalities. It's kind of funny. Oscar has always been Jen's dog. So wherever Jen is, that's where Oscar is. It's pretty rare. It's pretty rare for Walter to be to act like Oscar. Sorry, I was going to say it's pretty rare for Oscar to be with other people. If Jen is gone, then Oscar will hang out with me a little bit, but he definitely loves Jen. Walter, the black dog, on the other hand, whoever's outside or whoever seems to be doing whatever's the most fun, that's where Walter is. So he does really enjoy everybody, which is good. It's good for me. It's good for the kids to have a dog that likes everybody. From Hamza. Hello, my teacher. Simple question. What's your favorite weather? Thanks a lot. My favorite weather is -5 or -10 with snow on the ground and snow falling lightly or even heavy snow. I love a good snowstorm. I love snow days in the winter when the weather's so bad I don't go to work. Like they say, stay home. So that would be my favorite kind of weather. My second most favorite kind of weather, I sometimes joke with Jen about this. If it's 20 degrees in the spring or fall and a beautiful day, I love that kind of weather. The joke I make with Jen is if there's a country where it's 20 degrees Celsius every day year round, I would move there, and hopefully a country with no mosquitoes. That would be very, very cool. That'd be very fun. Let me see here. I have to go to members only chat in a bit. Let me just have a sip of tea. If you're a member, you can get ready to ask your questions in the chat in just a moment. I will find the spot where I turn that on. And hopefully, there it is. The sun there's quite a glare on my screen right now. A glare is when the sun reflects off something and then it makes it hard to see. Anyways, chat is flipped to members only chat. I will keep answering questions from the forum. This is from Mr. A. And I will jump over to chat questions from members in a moment. By the way, members, thanks for being members. Mr. A says, I'm going to have a job interview with Canadian CEO of some company, and I'm wondering what I might be asked about. I mean, the special tricky questions, except normal ones. I would expect this. They're going to ask if you're willing to move. They're going to ask if you're set up to work remotely. They're going to ask about what you're expecting to get paid for that position, if it's a higher level position. They're probably going to ask a question where you have to solve a problem. That's become very common in interviews now, where they say, you know, if you had this, and this happen, how would you solve it? And I can't give you an example because they'll have the example for you. But definitely, you're going to have to be on your toes. It'll be a pretty thorough interview, I imagine. Next question is a grammar question, so I'm going to skip it because grammar is best answered in a dedicated video. And then the next one is from Nastran. Hello, dear Bob. By watching your amazing videos, my listening is improved very well, but my speaking is not as good as my listening. What should I do? So if you want to continue using my videos to practice your speaking, you can start to shadow, which is when you play a segment and hit pause and then say what I'm saying. So job number 1, shadow. Job number 2, if you're a member, you get a transcript for every video. Print out the transcript and read it out loud, and then maybe watch my video and shadow it. But the ultimate thing would be that you need to start having conversations with an English speaking partner. You have to find a way to find one or hire one. That is what I would recommend. Okay, from the chat. Let's see here. No, that says, Bob, could you give me a few examples of the use of to know one's way around something? Is this often used? Thank you. Yeah. So Jen knows her way around gardening tools. I know my way around a computer. I know my way around a classroom when I'm teaching. That doesn't mean that we actually know where to walk. It means we're highly familiar with that activity. Whatever your job is every day, you probably really know your way around it. Okay. So if you are a taxi driver or an Uber driver, you know your way around a car. Like, you know where all the buttons are to do what you need to do. If you're wondering why I'm reaching out, I have to like shade the screen. Know that. I'm wondering if it is water. What's in your neighbor's field? I mean, on the other side of the river. Yeah, that's a great question. Let me remove my head. So it has flooded here recently. So what you're seeing across the river is actually kind of like mud flats. There are geese down there. I'm pointing, but you guys can't see me. On the left side of your screen, just on the other side of the river, there are, oh, the first fly is buzzing around my head. There are geese down there. There's 3 of them. But yeah, that entire area was flooded. So it's actually quite muddy right now. Okay, here we go. Next question from Lolly Lolly. When your children were very young, little fix there, did you take special precautions to prevent them from falling into the river? Yeah, we actually did walk along the river a few times when they were young. We want them to be aware of it. But there is a fence behind me. And we didn't allow our kids to go down to the river unless they were with an adult. So they always needed to be accompanied by an adult if they were going down to the river. From Eduardo, have you ever swum in the river behind you? Yes, but it's really muddy. It's not a very nice place to swim. As you can see, the field across is muddy. The river itself is brown. The water is very, very muddy. And so it's not a great place to swim. My uncles, my grandparents' farm was down the road. They used to swim in the river quite a bit, but I think the water was also less polluted back then. This river is sometimes, every once in a while, it smells a little funny. I'm not sure why that's happening. From Know That, do you already know if Jen will be joining your live stream during the eclipse, Bob, or will this remain a surprise for us? She's planning to. She's planning to pop in. I'm not sure how long I will be live streaming for. Probably for quite a while. I just want to make sure. I think that that camera's still Oh, I know what I can do here. I'm just going to shake if I shake it a bit. Oh, yes. There, it's still working. I wasn't sure if it was just frozen or not. Yeah, Jen's going to join for a bit. I'm not sure how long, maybe 10 minutes here and there. Hafia says, hey there, Saturated Bob. Nice saturated view of the river. Joke. Heard it might be by the millions for the eclipse there. Is it possible too much internet bottleneck traffic affecting stream? Possibly. That's one thing I am a little bit worried about. They say we could have a power outage. They say maybe the internet won't work properly. There are 1 million people not coming to my farm. There are 1 million people coming to this area in Ontario, Niagara Falls especially. So I'm just crossing my fingers that everything works well, but who knows? We'll see. We'll play it by ear. Freddie said, Brent had a snowstorm in the state of Maine. As you live not so far away, have you been scared to have the same weather? Do you often have snow in early spring? Merci, j'apprécie ce que tu fais. So Brent's about 9 hours away, so he does often get the same weather as me, but sometimes doesn't. He got snow, we didn't. It's been quite warm here. We did have snow over a week ago, but yeah, it's been very nice here, so no problems with that. And you're welcome. De rien. Lolly says, thanks, Bob. No problem. Hafia says, also, there was an unprecedented earthquake by the East Coast area. Scary. So I didn't feel that here, but in New York, and I'm sure Brent felt it in Maine, yesterday there was a 4.8 earthquake, I think it was, on the Richter scale. So I wish, like, people felt it around here, but I don't know what I was doing at that moment. So Sita says, hi, Mr. Bob, missing your lesson. I've been very busy. Is there a fly landing on me? Is that what? Every once in a while I feel something and I'm wondering, oh, there it is. It flew away. Missing, I've been very busy. Sorry. No problem, Sita. Life gets busy. That's kind of how it goes, doesn't it? I've just finished a very busy week. Next week's not as busy, but it's also a little bit busy. But after that, life gets a lot nicer. Okay, let me get another question on the screen. If you are a member, you can still ask questions. I see one from Freddie down there. Let's see here. In case you missed in the chat, my students keep asking if you got the Christmas card from us. Thank you for your lesson about cheating. Very useful at school. I think so. I have to double check the pile. I did go through and see a bunch of Christmas cards. I think I did get the one from you, but I will double check. Eva, sorry if I didn't. I'll send you a message if I did. Leave me a comment below and I will see what I can find. I did get a lot of Christmas cards, just so you know. And I got a lot of Christmas cards from classes of students. Apparently my videos are watched in classrooms. So anyways, where are we? Freddie says, Bob, would you remind us the time you'll begin your Monday's eclipse video? So sometime around 3 o'clock my time, the eclipse will already be happening. So 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I might start as early as 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to kind of see how things are going. But so I'm not sure what time that will be in your area. It'll be 5 or 6 hours later. So, but yeah, that's where we're going. Kang Un A says hi. Hi to you as well. Hafia says, how did Bob cut and edit his videos? He clips it. Sorry, I stole that from you. Yeah, so there's a moon joke on my other channel. How does the moon cut his hair? Eclipse it. It's a little play on words. You'll have to go watch that video on channel 2 on Bob's short English lessons. No, that says, have you been asked if someone can watch an eclipse on your farm? No, but there are many eclipse viewing areas or eclipse viewing parties happening. We're generally not open to the public, but I think if it was in the middle of the summer, a lot of our customers from the farmers market would probably be asking if they could come to the farm and watch it. But no one so far has been asking. It would be a great place. Well, you guys are all coming via the live stream, so that will be fun. Let me see here, 10:37. Let me get a question on the screen here from Nam. How do you learn money literacy outside the school? Do you have to go to any classes or watch any YouTube channel? Thank you very much. So here in Canada, students do learn how to manage money at school. It's part of their math classes. They don't get a lot of training. We generally hope that parents will teach their students how to manage their money. So I wish there were more classes on it. I think it's a good lesson. My parents did a good job of teaching me how to manage money, so I've always appreciated that. But yeah, our schools do an okay job, I think. So anyways, that's the end of members chat. But if you are a member and still ask a question in the next bit, I will look for it in the chat. Thank you for being members. For those of you that aren't members, what is membership? Well, if you become a member, you get a green name in the live stream chat. You get a crown beside your name. You get a little lesson on Mondays via the community tab of things you can do that week with a song of the week. And you get an extra video on Wednesdays, just a little behind the scenes video or Bob talking about a certain topic for a little bit. It's not an English lesson. It's more of just a way to connect and get to know me a bit better and practice your English at the same time. From Freddie Wolf, we also changed our time, so it's a 6-hour delay with France. Okay, and know that says, so we are special guests for the eclipse. Thanks again, Bob. Yes, as long as it's not cloudy and as long as my camera works well. We'll see. I feel like I'm making a lot of promises that I'm not sure. We'll see how it all turns out. Okay, next question. I should put it on the screen so we can see it. Evany, hi Bob. I appreciate your lessons. How could I train my mind to reason in English instead to try and translate from my native language? So again, I don't always have like a magic answer for this. I just know that for me, when I was learning French, there was a moment in time where I was watching a French TV show and about 5 or 10 minutes went by and all of a sudden I realized I wasn't translating anymore. I was just understanding it. But this came after a lot of work, okay? A lot of listening practice. I think listening is the first way to get your mind to stop translating. And then you have to work on your speaking and your writing so that you don't translate before you speak. But for me, it was like a magical moment, but it didn't happen instantly. And I remember being so happy I jumped out of my chair because the TV show I was watching just became entertaining. And it wasn't hard work to understand it. It was a beautiful moment. So a lot of listening will eventually get you there. From Orman. Hello, Mr. Bob. How are you? Do you have top-bottom blinds in your house? Well, I'm going to say no because I don't know what those are. And which types of blinds are popular in North America? Today, we've installed top-bottom blinds. We just have the kind that pull down. And we also have curtains, room darkening curtains usually. So we usually have the blind is on a roll and we pull it down. Some people have slats that open. They have blinds like that. We don't have that type. I know my brother-in-law and sister-in-law do, but I will have to look up top-bottom blinds. As I mentioned earlier, I like learning about new things. So I will have to go on Wikipedia later or on the internet and find out what those are. Let's see here. From Hoa. Hi, Teacher Bob. Have a nice day. Are there many Vietnamese people migrate into Ontario? Do you know the conditions to be citizens in your place? And then Lolly says, sorry, I have to go. Au revoir. Bye, Lolly. À bientôt. Sorry, I have to go. Bye, everyone. And thanks, Bob. See you. Yep. Have a good day. Okay. So, yes, Canada is definitely a country where many people have come here from other countries. And there were a lot of people that came here from Vietnam in the late 70s and early 80s. So, what are the conditions to come here? I would just go search for how to immigrate to Canada and find the Canadian government website. That's your best source of information. Mode says, sorry, Mr. Bob, I've had a long day and I need to go now. No problem. Just want to remind you to plug yesterday's lesson. I know you always have that at the ready. Oh, I do. It's right here. I did a lesson yet. Thanks, Mode. Have a good day. Thanks for the reminder. I did a lesson yesterday on vehicles. You should watch it. It has 56 slides. You'll learn a lot of terms and phrases if you watch that lesson. And there is a shorter version coming out tomorrow where you will spend even less time to learn more. Hopefully that made sense. Anyways, bye, Mode. Thanks for hanging out for a bit. Okay, let me see here. Where am I at? Let's do this, and I'll have a sip of tea. I can tell that Jen is probably working outside somewhere now because there are no dogs around. So I did mention that Walter is friends with everybody, but when Jen is outside, Walter and Oscar are always with Jen. So when Jen's inside, Oscar waits by the door till she comes back outside. Anyways, what was I doing here? Getting a question on the screen. Bob's Vietnamese friend. It's no secret that schools are stuck in the past. That's how we would say that. I learned how to argue and respect each other at school. Why didn't I learn to argue and respect other people at school? A little fix there. Any YouTube channel to recommend? Thanks. So, first of all, I think we could do a better job in our schools of teaching students how to argue and discuss things in a positive way. A long time ago, there used to be things called debate classes where students would learn to talk in a civilized, civil way. We could do more of that. Any YouTube channels to recommend? If you're learning British English, watch Lucy. If you're learning American English, watch Brent, American English with Brent, or Teacher Mike. I like both of those. I like Vanessa too. And I like Rachel. They're all very nice, by the way. I feel like we should have an English teachers convention someday and we can all meet each other. I like Tiffany, English with Tiffany, by the way. She is very, very good at teaching English. So look up that channel. There's a lot. There are many, many other teachers on YouTube. Go find them. They will help you a lot. Let's see here. In the chat, Emerson saying, hey, Bob, what's the best English books, grammars you strongly recommend to buy and read? I always recommend that you find a book in your own language that explains English grammar. It might be hard to find, but that should be your first grammar book. If you speak French, find a book that's written in French explaining English grammar to you. I think that is the best first step for learning English grammar. Natalia. Hi, Bob. Could you tell us a bit about waste disposal in Canada? Let me start again. Hi, Bob. Could you tell us a bit about waste disposal in Canada, please? I'm trying to remember the collocation waste disposal. Thanks. So waste disposal. So as a normal citizen, we put our garbage and recycling and compost out every Thursday morning, and 2 or 3 different trucks come to pick it up. Garbage is anything that just has to go in a landfill. So that, in terms of the company that comes, it's just a waste disposal company. They pick it up, it goes to the dump. The compost goes to the dump as well, but it goes to a different section and they rotate and mix it. Compost, by the way, would be banana peels, potato peels, any leftover organic food items. Organic being like it will break down. And then the last thing would be recycling. So we recycle plastic in Canada, we recycle paper. The industry isn't amazingly good at it, apparently, but we do try to recycle all paper, all plastic, all metal. Like we don't throw metal things, we take it to a metal recycling place. In the chat, Fall says, hi, Teacher Bob. I'm so proud of you. I learned many more things from you for years ago. I became an English teacher in the great private school with respectable wages. Thanks. I will come to visit. Oh, that's very cool. So you have become an English teacher. Very, very nice. Hey, there's Brent. You're so kind. He's talking to me? But what? Oh, I recommended your channel. Yes, a good channel. You went with your brother in a snowplow. Like, if that was recent, you have way different weather than me right now. So if you're looking for an exciting video, Brent went for a ride with his brother to plow snow. It's over on his channel, American English with Brent. Go have a look at that. Let's see. Jennifer Forrest is also a great Canadian teacher. Yes, I agree. Okay, back to the regular questions. Got about 10 minutes left here, and then we will wrap this up. Let me go to Rivercam. Let me put the link in the chat because I'm running low on questions. Let's do that. So if you have a question, please ask it. I will ramble for a minute or two while I wait for a few questions to come up. I'll answer some from the chat too in a sec. I will mention one more time, I think I overdressed. I didn't think I would be this warm on an April day, but the sun is amazing, no? Like the sun is very, very cool in the sense that it does certainly keep our planet warm. I would agree with that. I'm just going to wiggle the camera to make sure. Oh yes, it's still alive. I'm not sure which camera I'm going to use for the live stream on Monday. We will have to see. Leon says, I thought that you will burn the trash. We burn wood. So we do have a fire pit. I don't think it's in the video, but in the chat, Leon's asking. We do not burn our garbage. We burn wood. We don't even burn wood that's been treated. So we only burn wood that's natural wood in our campfire or in our fire pit. We'll sometimes burn paper. That's not a big deal. When we're having a campfire, we'll light it with paper and cardboard. And sometimes we'll burn some paper just because we have a box of paper. No. When I was younger, when I was really young, my parents did burn garbage. I think that was pretty common in Canada in the mid-70s. Freddie in the chat says, hello, Brent. Your snowplowing video with Ben is awesome. So go see that. I actually think Brent and his brother sound very, very similar if you listen to them. We should do a video sometime with me and my brother and Brent and his brother. That would be pretty funny. We all have the same kind of look, I think. I wouldn't say we look alike, although some people think we do look alike. But no, that says, what are your plans for today, Bob, if I may ask? So what are my plans for today? Not a lot. I have to go pick someone up later today. One of my kids is out. I have to finish doing some editing, so I'm going to be on my computer for a bit. But I'm not planning to go anywhere. I have no plans, which I like, because as I mentioned, I did have a fairly busy week, so it is nice to have kind of a bit of I was going to use the word repose. That's a pretty advanced English word. It's good to have a little bit of time just to relax. Although, honestly, I'll probably end up reading a bunch of stuff on my computer and learning about things like blinds that come from the top and bottom. We'll see. Let's see. Alicia says, hello, Bob. Do you think reading is also important for thinking in a foreign language? Yeah. So everything's different for different people. Some people love conversation. That helps them a lot. For me, when I was learning French, and I think this is true for some of you learning English, I loved reading. I felt like I could read at a slow pace. I could stop and look up words when I needed to. And I could read about anything I wanted to. If I wanted to read about plants, I could read about plants. If I wanted to read about space, I could read about space. Whereas with a conversation, you kind of have to find someone who knows about that, right? So it's a little more challenging. So reading is important. Brent says we got about 15 inches of snow on Thursday. That's crazy. Is that why you were home? You had a snow day, right? Yeah, it's crazy. I think I told you, Brent, that I have Monday off now. They decided it was too dangerous to have school on an eclipse day. Let's see here. I'll go back to the forum in a sec. Leon says, this is the first time I saw Bob's live stream. I just want to say hi. Hi, Leon. Natalia Illusion is here. You also divide garbage into categories. Yes. So it is good. Like even in our house, we have garbage and then we have a recycling bin, and then we put all our metal. We usually take our metal out to the barn, and we have a little box where we keep our metal until someone goes to the metal recycling place. Tessa says, dear Bob, do you start again with group lessons? I had one which was great. Yes, that was cool. Thank you. We'll see. I just don't know when to fit that into my schedule. Jose says, hi, Bob. Are there too many differences between American and Canadian English? Thank you. So I do have a video about this, but I still think the best video to watch is the video where when Brent visited, we tasted food from different countries. And Brent is from America, and I'm obviously from Canada. And we do not sound different at all, in my opinion. We sound very similar. Now, he's from the northeast part of the United States, which is close to Canada. So that might be why. Let's see here. Maybe kick back. Yeah, I'll kick back and relax today. That'd be good. Know that. From Hua, hi, Teacher Bob. I see behind you there are wind turbines. In Canada, does wind power contribute a lot to the national electricity supply? It contributes, but I wouldn't say it contributes a lot. So let's have a look. Maybe if I remove myself here, you can see it better. There are some wind turbines. You can probably see, ooh, that fly almost went in my eye. It's like, see, an AI teacher couldn't do that, could they? Teach you about things flying in your eye. Yeah, you can't quite see them on this screen. So in Canada, we have we have a lot of hydroelectric power in Ontario and Quebec, in those two provinces. So I don't know the exact numbers, but I don't think wind and solar are a huge contributor to our overall electricity production, but definitely it does contribute. Let's see here. Rosa says, your land is amazing, Bob, a sight for sore eyes. I'm glad you enjoy it. Wind turbines are very good, says Redfish. They are very good for the environment. Eva says, can you make a lesson about pets in Canada? Which are the most popular? I should do that. That would be a good idea. Yes. Leon says, I can read and write and can also understand what you guys are talking about. When I speak English, it would be hard for me because there are not a lot of native English speakers in my country. Yes. And yeah, I do. I hope someday everyone is able to have access. And maybe that's where AI will help, allowing people to have access to conversation practice. Although conversation practice with an AI, you won't be nervous. But if you have it with a person, you will be nervous. So it's interesting. That's why I think speaking with a person will still have value. Let's see. Kamini says, I just joined the live class from Sri Lanka. Oh, good to see you. Cool to have you here. Surprising to me, there's already flies. I wish I was where Brent was with snow. That would be good. Tony Smooth says, hello, teacher. Did you use sunscreen? Yes, it seems too hot and sunny outside. I did. I put it on my face and my neck. But I'm almost done out here. I'll be done in 10 minutes or so, and we can wrap this up. Hey, let me check the form, because I think I'm forgetting to answer questions from the form, and there's probably a few here. Let's do that. From Giovanni, what can you recommend me to speak fluidly? So there's a couple things that will affect this. One, you might be nervous. Two, you might not have developed the muscles that you need to say things properly or quickly. And so both just require practice. If you're just practicing making the right sounds and pronouncing things and connecting words together nicely, you can do this on your own. You can read out loud. You can shadow what I mentioned earlier, play a video and hit pause, say what the speaker in the video says. In terms of if it's nervousness, you need to find a human being to practice with. That is the best way. So I will put this on the screen. I skipped this one earlier, but Anastasia said, hi, Bob. Can you explain the difference between past perfect and past perfect continuous? Greetings from Russia. English verb tense conjugation lessons are best done in a separate video. It's very hard for me to explain in a quick little 1-minute response the difference between these two. So I would search for videos that specifically will help you with past perfect and past perfect continuous. I mentioned earlier in the lesson that when I teach, I myself as a teacher sometimes make mistakes. So I tend to avoid some grammar questions because I don't want to accidentally explain it wrong. And so it takes some forethought and design to make a good video on this. So hopefully you can find one. From Alicia, hi Bob, do you think reading is also important for thinking in a foreign language? Yes, I think this was in the chat earlier. Definitely. Reading, I feel bad for people who don't naturally like reading in their own language, because I like reading in English. So when I was learning French, it was easy to do a lot of reading. And I know some people don't enjoy reading, and that's okay. But if you can find a way, you should do a lot of reading. I mean, you should do a lot of reading and writing and listening and speaking, but you should definitely find a way to do a lot of reading. And we're going to wrap this up in a sec. This is from John. Are the schools in Canada going to be closed next Monday? So if you're in the path of totality, which not very many Canadian schools are, then yes, my school is canceled. I am right in the middle. I'm slightly off center of the path of totality, but I'm right in it. So they decided to close school because like so many people are visiting the areas along the path of the eclipse in the United States and Canada that they don't want normal activity to be happening that day, like school. So some schools will be closed. Not all of them, but some will be closed. Let me see from the chat. Let me go back a bit. What's the name of the river? It's called the Welland River. So right now, Redfish, I have the same weather. It's sunny and 7 or 8 degrees right here right now. Let's see here. From Formula, why do you answer the questions from the Russians? Do you support them? I think that is probably too simplistic of a way to describe it. If you think about it this way, language is the first doorway into good communication between different countries. And so if you want different countries to get along, teaching a language should not be exclusive. So I have never been someone who said, I will not teach people English, because to me, learning the language is the first step towards a better world. So that would be my answer there. No, that says, yeah, grammar is always tricky, Bob. Yes. Let's see here. From Tony, do you often hold live on YouTube? Yeah, every Friday morning I do a lesson, and the first Saturday of every month I do a lesson. Unsel says, I'm shopping right now. The screen is on, the sound is off. I look at it from time to time. It feels so good to see you. The view is magnificent. No matter where, spending time with you is priceless. Thanks, Unsel. Thanks for the kind words. Happy shopping, says Hafiez. And then Freddie says, Bob, is the water coming out in your house drinking water? Where does your water come from? Do you have special cleaning installation to clean the water? So we collect rainwater. It goes into a cistern, and we use that for toilets. We use that for showers. We use that for washing our dishes. We treat the water so that it's sanitary, but we don't drink it. We get water from our local town in large jugs. I'll put it in a video someday, because we get water from the water treatment plant where the water is pure and good for human consumption. So that's where we get our water from. And then Making Sense of English says, great answer, and individuals are not the same as governments. I think that's key to know as well, that we're all just trying to make our way through this world, and sometimes on the world stage, things are a little different than what's in our hearts. That's how I would summarize this. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. I think that's the end. Should we do one last question? Because I like this question. Fox, do you know about attention spans? How to improve it? So an attention span is how long you can sit and do something before you get bored. And often people will say, kids these days, they have a short attention span. They just like watching TikTok videos, and they won't watch a 1-hour lesson. Or they'll say, oh, when I sit and listen to someone from the government talk, I have a short attention span and I start daydreaming. So how do you improve it? You have to, whatever you're doing, you have to find a way to like it. So let's say it's hard to read. When you sit and read, you can only read for 5 minutes and you get bored. You should make sure when you read about something you're interested in as well, to help you learn a bit more. Anyways, that's it, people. I'm going to say bye. Let me go to no display. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. You are awesome. And then I'm just going to switch to the river cam and let you enjoy the view for a bit. And then I'm going to hit the end button. So thanks for coming. This was fun. See you Monday. By the way, I'm not sure when I'll start, but be ready around 2:30, somewhere in there. For sure by 3 o'clock, I will be live streaming. Hopefully, as long as the power doesn't go out. Bye, everybody. Bye. It is a really nice day. Not sure if you can hear me. It is a really nice day here today. Gorgeous. Oh, and I have this camera, so I can do sky. Did I end on that?